Hello everyone, Douglas Waltz, Old Man Comic Book Reviews, coming at you with a giant stack. So let's just dive right in, shall we? First up is the final issue of Dark Souls, The Willow King, written by George Mann, artwork by Mann House. It's where they come and to kill the Willow King, but sometimes when you kill the Willow King, something much, much worse takes its place. So, yeah, this was really good. The monster at the end is really awesome. The artwork is really... Here, I'll show you the monster at the end. I mean, it might be a spoiler. I don't know. I've never seen the show before, or the game before. I've seen my son play the game. Alright. Number 9 of Birds of Prey, Portal to the Unknown. Let's see if I can find my... Here we are. Kelly Thompson is our writer. Jonathan Case and Gavin Goodry are our artists. And when last we left the birds, they were following Barbara Gordon, Batgirl, into a portal. They brought back our favorite artist. I mean, I could complain that everything is gray, but they're in the dark, so I see what it is. It's an artistic kind of thing. And so yeah, Birds of Prey just keeps knocking it out of the park. This has got some creepy stuff going on, some amazing artwork going on. This is a really good book. This is a new storyline, part 1 of 5 in the title. So if you wanted to jump on, you really still need... I mean, you could probably do it, but... because number 8 gives you the setup for it. But still, DC puts out some good books sometimes. There you go. Sometimes. We got to do the Daredevils in order. Hold on. Because there was an issue with number 8. This is number 8. It didn't come out. It came out when it was supposed to. But then it... what's a good word of playing it here? It was printed improperly. So, what are you going to do? It was actually missing a part of the book. So, luckily, it came out before number 9 did. So, this one has 6 stories. The first one is Introductory Rights, Part 8. Part of the normal book itself by Saladin Ahmed is our writer. Aaron Kuder is our artist. Lost and Found, Saladin, apologies. Writer Tommaso Bianchi, who's a great artist. So Aaron is the artist. Turk Takes a Bath. Ann Nocenti, yay! If anybody knows, you know. If you don't, you don't. Is our writer. Stefano Raphael is our artist. Hurts So Good is D.G. Chichester is our writer. Ken Lashley is our artist. Blind Leading the Blind. Elsa Schunison is our writer. Eric Coda is our artist. Not on the Sidelines. Erica Schultz is our writer. Jan Bazaludua. Plus there's little bonus funnies by Ty Templeton. So the first story is Elektra, Daredevil, and regular Daredevil hunting down who's been causing this new gang in town, led by Bullseye of all people. I will not reveal to you who is in charge of this gang, but it seems fishy. The second story is Elektra going out. She has her little charge Alice and tells Alice not to go out, and Alice, being a small child who actually knows how to fight, said no thank you, and went out anyway. So that's kind of interesting. They put a cover gallery of all these. I'm not going to show you every page, but there's a picture of every cover. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pages of covers this big. So and our next story has Matt Murdock in his yellow costume, helping a blind girl who's kidnapped and kind of full of herself, which is kind of neat. I like that. Then we have Daredevil busting up a bunch of gangsters in a bathhouse, which itself was interesting. The ending is cool because it doesn't end with everybody just going to jail, like always. And then it's Daredevil in his red and gray or red and black, it depends on what you say, costume, fighting with the Punisher. And they're trying to stop a meth house. It's not a meth house. The guy just happens to be a genius and was making drugs for people who have like diabetes and things like that. So yeah, felt very 90s. It was kind of cool. And then our final story, I do believe, is Elektra Devil helping somebody get their dog back, who apparently is a very expensive dog, but the guy who has her is a widower and just wanted her because she was his dog. So that was pretty sweet. Elektra got to show her softer side. Then there's a bunch of silly cartoons at the end. They do a Maddie and Stick, which is Calvin and Hobbes, Kingpin of the Mob, King of the Hill, Can't See and Fago, that's Nancy, and then Life in Hell's Kitchen, which is the old Matt Groening bit that he used to do. Life is Hell. So, big. Look at the size of this thing. It feels heavy, too. So let's go right into number 9, then, of Daredevil. There we are, number 9 of Daredevil. And I do believe we'll have the same people. Saladin Ahmed and Juan Cabal is our artist. Oh, okay, so I'm wrong. And after our big reveal of last issue, which I'm still not telling you because you have to read the book, it's them versus Bullseye. The two people versus Bullseye. Daredevil always has trouble with Bullseye. And now he's been back for 9 issues from Hell from the previous thing. And he finally, and 9 issues is longer than like 9 days. It's some time. Goes to see Foggy Nelson. And he is so happy to see his best friend in the whole wide world. But Matt took too long, and now Foggy is mad at him, like, because he didn't do it sooner. So, yeah. And there's a big funny reveal at the end, because he's a priest working at a children's home for wayward children, and there's a big funny reveal at the end that you should definitely want to see. It's a good book. All right, and it's impervious to the Blood Hunt crossover. Unfortunately, Doctor Strange is not. This is Doctor Strange 15. Jed MacKay is our writer. Pascal Ferry is our artist. So we get the lovely art that we've come to love. Unfortunately, Blade is doing something with vampires. And see, I'm not buying the crossover. And turns Steven into a vampire. Vampire. So I don't like when crossovers that I'm not buying interrupt my regular comic book reading. It's going to affect a few. Apparently Moon Knight will be affected. Miles Morales will be affected. Doctor Strange will be affected. Other books that I don't buy, well, that's fine. So, yes, this was not great. It's Doctor Strange got turned into a vampire. They got to figure out how to fix it. And they're not fixing it right away. Batman Scooby-Doo Mysteries. Number 5. Well, that's right, boys and girls. Man-Bat. Written by Matthew Cody. Drawn by, hold on, Puste? P-U-S-T-E. Puste? Pusty? Pusty. Ugh. So, the gang are taken back to a case from, let me see, there's a little nod to it. I wish they realized that all of us Scooby-Doo fans were old, but let me see if I can find it. Back when there was the Jekyll and Hyde case in an episode of Scooby-Doo, and Batman knew that they were the only ones that could help him out because they had been there before. So they also bring along Kirk Langstrom. Here we are. Dr. Jekyll's great grandson lived with his housemate Helga. This was in the classic Scooby-Doo episode Nowhere to Hide. Get it, Jekyll and Hyde. So, your basic spooky mystery thing going on. Of course, if you have Kirk Langstrom in a room, he's going to turn into Man-Bat, so that's just how that works. And Batman and Velma discuss Velma possibly being another Robin in the future because of her detective skills. She said that won't work. Anytime she tries to do anything, her glasses fall off and she can't see, which of course happens in the book to prove that happens. This is always a fun book. I very much adored this book. I'm glad this is our third arc of Batman Scooby-Doo Mysteries. They do arcs of 12. So, I get it. It's fine. All right, remember that blood hunt I was complaining about? Issue 49 of The Amazing Spider-Man, which means that probably issue 50 is going to be not good either. Zeb Wells is our writer. John Romita Jr. is our penciler. White Rabbit, one of my possibly favorite villains, goofy villains, created by my good friend J.M. DeMatteis. Becomes a vampire. So they're going to try to get her to not be a vampire anymore. And yeah, it's interesting. This one guy wants a vampire, knows that he's a vampire, and wants Spidey to kill him. And it's not Spider-Man. That's not how that works. So this is, it's interesting, and it's going to be continued in Amazing Spider-Man Blood Hunt, which I'm not getting. So maybe they won't affect the 50th issue of this. This was a Blood Hunt issue. So there you go. All right, Strange Academy Blood Hunt. I know what I said. And this is really a 3-issue miniseries that I never would have had to buy. But it's Strange Academy. We love these kids. We get 3 stories. The City That Never Weeps. Writer is Daniel Jose Older. Artist is Luigi Zagaria. How to Save a Life. Writer is Daniel Jose Older. Artists are Eric Gapster and Scott Hanna. And A Tiger by the Tail. Writer Daniel Jose Older. Artist is Eric Gapster. So it's fun because these are the children of people that are magic. Basically, that's what it is. That's what the Strange Academy is. And so since it's a Blood Hunt crossover in the very first part, they have to fight vampires. And Doctor Strange in ghost form, because of the other Doctor Strange thing, not ghost form, astral form, shows up looking for the Darkhold because of the Montese formula, which can kill all vampires. They did that once before, but apparently it didn't take. And they've done something interesting. Agatha Harkness is in it, and the Darkhold has been turned into a 10-year-old boy. He's the incarnation of the Darkhold in human form, which is kind of interesting. So, yep, we'll see how that goes for them. And they give us a backup story that lets you know that Agatha and the Darkhold are on the run trying to stay away from Doctor Strange. Yeah. So it's Blood Hunt, but it's a supernatural thing in a supernatural thing, so it kind of works for me. The idea of Darkhold being a little boy is interesting as well. Darkhold has been a thing. Let's see. Captain America. That's how my granddaughters used to say Captain America. Captain America. Capitan America, I do believe. We're up to issue 9. All right. And writer is J. Michael Straczynski. Artist is Jesus Saez. And he's teamed up with The Front Door, which is that interesting cabaret, I guess would be the way to put it. And the lady wants him to help save the world, of course. Always save the world. And so he's in the Atacama Desert in Chile. He runs into a penguin who he can't just leave out there, so he takes him back with him. So it's Captain America teaming up with a penguin, which I'm on board for this, so that's nice. And he's hunting down a guy who can shed his skin so it still looks like a person and he's the first key to this entire thing. The bad guys show up, try to attack. The Penguin is no help whatsoever. So the mutant he's after can heal himself completely. Also does the Husk thing that I mentioned. Isn't there already a mutant named Husk? I swear there's a mutant named Husk. So he's collected the first person he needs for this adventure. And yeah, he gives the mutant fella gives his origin story, and then we find out what the Penguin's really there for. So he tells the Penguin to go. Although I worry that the Penguin's going to get eaten by a shark. So we'll see. It's still a good book. It's the best Captain America book we've had in quite some time. Alright. I'm going to get this out of the bag. We are on issue 2 of Valentine Bluffs Massacre, or My Bloody Valentine, issue 2. You may remember that I complained ferociously about the dryer washer incident. If you remember, you remember. If you don't, you don't. Our writers are S.A. Czech and James Kokorik. Our artist is Andrea Arcari. And yeah, this guy is going to turn Valentine Bluffs into like an entertainment theme park, which is just a terrible idea. Artwork is good. They got a movie they're making at the same time. They at no time addressed that thing that I had mentioned. So I really like My Bloody Valentine. It's one of my favorite slasher movies from back in the day. I can still watch it and have an excellent time, even knowing, who the killer is in the movie. I don't see that there's going to be a lot of mystery for this. We'll see. It happened a long time ago, and they have people coming back for it, and they don't seem to be drawn old enough, unless this doesn't take place in modern day times, but I think it does. And yeah, so it's what it is. It's My Bloody Valentine, even though for some reason they couldn't call it My Bloody Valentine. Something about the rights, according to the guys at the comic book store. Cover's kind of cool. Artwork is interesting. It's a little cartoony, but that's fine, because comic book, that's fine. It's not as good as their Silent Night, Deadly Night that they put out, which, they didn't accidentally change something just because they felt like it, or have to change the title. So, that's our show. Let's count up our heroes versus... I'm not counting them as heroes. Heroes versus not hero comic books. I think the heroes have got a overwhelming lead. Yeah, there's only 2 non-hero books compared to the stack of the rest. So, Sophie, Fiona, you're coming over next weekend, so that'll be fun. We're going to go up to the Grand Rapids Museum and look at dinosaur bones, so that'll be nice. Here, let me grab my stack. I always wave the stack at you guys. There we go. All right, put that in there even though I don't read it. There we go. All right, so I always tell you what to do, don't I? Go to the library, go online. If you find a comic book about something, there are many comic books that have nothing to do with superheroes. Superheroes are not they're still the majority. I mean, Marvel and DC are the big muscle. Even Image, a lot of their comic books are superhero comic books, so it's okay. Find something that you like, something you're fond of. For example, Daredevil. I've always liked Daredevil because Daredevil is a blind guy. So when you're a little kid and there is a superhero that's blind and you have to wear glasses all the time, it kind of like, okay, all right. So he can't see at all and he's a superhero. Little inspirational thing. So, in the meantime, I'm glad you showed up. I did this all by myself. My camera person had to go to work today. So we'll see how it looks. Hopefully it doesn't look too bad. And so for the rest of you, though, go read a comic book.